Welcome to a world where the smallest coin can hold the biggest surprise and where a single cent can carry a story of history, rarity, and fortune far beyond its face value. Today we are going to explore the Liberty 1 cent from the year 2006, a coin that on the surface looks like just another penny in your pocket but in reality has fascinated collectors, historians, and treasure hunters around the globe. While most examples of this coin will only ever be worth 1 cent, certain extraordinary specimens of the 2006 Lincoln cent have shocked the market, with value soaring as high as $8,800,000 or $0.88 million. This is the fascinating world of numismatics, where condition, minting errors, and scarcity create treasures out of what many people overlook. The 2006 1 cent belongs to the Lincoln cent series, which is the longest-running coin design in the history of the United States. First issued in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, the cent quickly became one of the most popular coins in circulation. Lincoln was the first real historical figure to appear on a circulating American coin, and his face has remained there ever since. By 2006, nearly a century after its introduction, the Lincoln cent was still a symbol of unity, liberty, and the American story. The obverse features the famous portrait of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner, his profile looking to the right with his stern and thoughtful gaze. The reverse at this point in history still displayed the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. A design that had been introduced in 1959 on the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. The Lincoln Memorial reverse is a fascinating piece of art in itself. At first glance, it shows the grand neoclassical building with its columns stretching upward. But look closely with magnification and you can see something that amazes many people who notice it for the first time. Inside the memorial, at the very center between the columns, is a tiny statue of Abraham Lincoln seated, the same statue that millions of people visit in person in Washington, D.C. This detail makes the Lincoln Memorial cent one of the few coins in the world to depict the same figure on both sides: Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the obverse and his seated statue on the reverse. By the year 2006, the United States Mint was producing cents in huge numbers. Billions were struck at the Philadelphia and Denver mints using copper-plated zinc planchets, a composition introduced in 1982 when rising copper prices made the traditional bronze too expensive. The coins consisted of a zinc core weighing about 2.5 grams coated in a thin layer of copper to give them their familiar reddish shine. This composition, while cost-effective, had its drawbacks. Zinc is softer and more prone to corrosion than solid bronze, which means that over time these coins often develop spotting, streaking, or tiny blisters on their surfaces. As a result, finding perfectly preserved examples with full red luster free of marks and discoloration is much more difficult than many imagine. For collectors, the difference between a common 2006 cent and a fortune-changing one lies in two major factors. The first is condition. Coins that survive untouched, never circulated, and preserved in their original mint brilliance can reach very high grades when certified by professional grading services. On the Sheldon scale of 1 to 70, only coins in the upper mint state grades such as MS67, MS68, or in rare cases MS69 are considered elite. The population of coins surviving at those levels is extremely small compared to the billions minted. When collectors and investors compete to own the best of the best, prices soar to unimaginable levels. The second factor is minting errors and varieties. During the process of striking billions of coins, mistakes sometimes occur, and those mistakes can turn ordinary pieces into rarities worth thousands or even millions. Errors might include double die obverse or reverses, where the design appears double due to a misalignment in the hubbing process. In such cases, the words "Liberty in God We Trust" or the date 2006 might show distinct doubling visible to the naked eye or under magnification. Another type of error is an off-center strike, where the design is shifted to one side, leaving part of the coin blank. Dramatic off-center strikes are particularly valuable when the date remains visible. There are also wrong planchet errors, where a cent is mistakenly struck on a planchet meant for another denomination or even for a foreign coin. Imagine finding a 2006 cent that weighs differently or has a different metallic color. Such coins are immediately recognized as rarities and can command staggering prices at auction. Another fascinating variety involves repunched mint marks, where the D or P mint mark is impressed more than once in slightly different positions, creating a shadow-like effect. Collectors love these small but distinctive details because they link the coin to the unique circumstances of its creation. Some coins also suffer from die cracks, cuds, or other striking anomalies that create raised lines or lumps of metal on the surface. While not every error is valuable, the most dramatic and visually striking examples are eagerly sought after. Now let us talk about how a 2006 1 cent can reach a market value of $0.88 million. The highest values are reserved for coins that combine both factors: pristine preservation and extraordinary error. Imagine a 2006 cent struck with a dramatic double die error graded at MS68 red, blazing with original luster, completely free of marks and unique in its rarity. Such a coin could spark a bidding war among wealthy collectors. At major auction houses like Heritage or Stack's Bowers, competition for a one-of-a-kind specimen can drive the price far beyond expectations. It is not simply about owning a coin, it is about owning a piece of history, about securing a place in the numismatic record books, and about the pride of holding something that almost no one else on earth possesses. The story of the 2006 Liberty 1 cent also ties into the broader narrative of American coinage at the beginning of the 21st century. It was a time when the Lincoln cent was approaching its centennial, a design that had endured longer than any other in the nation's history. Just 3 years later, in 2009, the United States Mint would release a special series of 4 commemorative reverses to mark Lincoln's 200th birthday, and in 2010 the cent would receive a completely new reverse design featuring a shield. This means the 2006 Lincoln Memorial Cent represents the closing chapter of an era, one of the last years of a design that had been in place since 1959. That historical significance adds another layer of importance for collectors, making pristine examples even more desirable. Beyond value, these coins carry a deeper meaning. They remind us that history often hides in plain sight in the coins that pass through our hands every day. Abraham Lincoln, immortalized on the cent, stands as a symbol of liberty, unity, and perseverance. His presence on the coin is not just decoration but a reminder of the ideals he fought for, ideals that continue to shape the American identity. The Lincoln Memorial on the reverse reinforces this, serving as a miniature monument in metal, a daily reminder of the nation's respect for one of its greatest leaders. Now imagine holding in your hand a coin that most people would ignore, a 2006 cent that looks no different from the change you find under your car seat or in a jar on the kitchen counter. But upon closer inspection you notice something unusual, maybe doubling in the lettering or a perfect fiery red shine that almost glows under the light. You send it to be graded and it comes back as one of the finest known examples with a rare and dramatic error. Suddenly this coin that cost only 1 cent to spend is valued at hundreds of thousands, even millions of dollars. That is the magic of coin collecting. For collectors and treasure hunters, the lesson is clear. Always look closely, always pay attention, and never dismiss the humble penny. The 2006 Liberty 1 cent may be common in number, but within that sea of billions lie rare treasures waiting to be discovered. Some of those treasures have already reached the staggering value of $0.88 million in the marketplace, and others may still be hiding in plain sight. The story of the 2006 Liberty cent is not just about money, it is about discovery, history, and the thrill of the hunt. It teaches us that greatness can come from the smallest things, and that sometimes fortune smiles on those who take the time to look more carefully at what others overlook. So next time you hold a 2006 penny, remember this story. You may be holding not just a coin but a piece of history, a piece of art, and possibly a life-changing treasure.